programs. We welcome you back. And today, many of you will remember for the rest of your life what is brought up, what is to be shown, and what has become the process of the totality of the understanding of Keshe Foundation work. We have come to a point of change. The Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation organization internationally has, as of today, brings a new era, a new dimension, a new understanding in the process of what we call intellectual rights and accessibility of the knowledge worldwide. Today is what we call not much teaching, but breaking of news, introducing new technology, and in a way opening the hand of the man from the shackle of this planet. We will introduce the technology in steps today, and with it, we will gain a new dimension in many of our works. As you were aware, we started the opening of the exhibition in Linz last week. We had the pleasure of many knowledge seekers to be with us from around the world, and with it, we opened a new door, a new dimension in establishment of the systems which are not known and unknown, and in so many ways extending the technologies which were already what we call released into what we call the market of the humanity. Rick, would you please play the first video of the vertical or a horizontal system, please? This is a commercial made by the Keshe Foundation, but in depth introduces a new technology, a fundamental break from the present knowledge and present world of science. We are very much in advanced technology, and this technology is unknown, literally unknown, and it brings a new dimension to humanity. In the process of the teaching of today, I will explain the major breakthroughs in the world of science and technology, which the Keshe Foundation releases today. Many of you will remember 14th of October 2021 as the time when the history of man has changed and will change. And would you like to go ahead, please, Rick? Yeah, do either one of you. Yes, please.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. Essential processes are embedded for deep space travel to stop mutations and psychosomatic conditions. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially the lungs and intestines, which can be targeted specifically for each organ. When used within the Vertical Enhancement Unit, the body finds balance in totality while correcting and balancing all the fields within itself. The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before.
Would you like to go back and focus on one of the pictures of it? This is the new enhancement unit, the vertical enhancement unit, which will become prelude to what we call, or what is commonly known as transmutation and transportation of elements, of objects, of human beings, without the use of what we call the present means of transportation. This is developed for removal and enhancements of many conditions in the body of the man. And the beauty of it is that it has the capability to connect the man in any position in the universe to his environment, to his structure, where the fields of what we call universe, when interaction with the field of the system, allows the process of the development and transmutation of the fields in both in physical and in the dimension of the soul of the man. This system is a major breakthrough in science and technology. And in the next few minutes, as we expand to the next elements of what is released now by the Keshe Foundation, will bring you to understand men as of today become independent of this planet. We do not need rules and regulations. We do not need conditions of the governments and those who like to enforce conditions on us. We can use these systems in the depth of the universe, above Earth atmosphere, on the planet Moon and the rest, which brings international new laws. Man become part of the universal community. Would you like to play the second one, please? These units are present, as you can see, in Lens Exhibition Center. They've been shown for the first time last week in the opening, and further new systems will be added to this in the coming weeks. And you will see not paint pads and paint pen, but technologies who will change the history of man in totality in science and technology. Go ahead, please.
The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. Plasma space technology that allows you to work with the fields of the universe. By creating a wide range of plasma field interactions and conditions, it allows the body to process itself from any physical or emotional imbalance. Once this balanced condition is achieved, the soul and the emotion of the man can follow to find their balance, elevating the whole of the man. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. Technology of the future through advanced plasma knowledge.
Thank you very much. The new, what we call the horizontal system, this is a breakthrough for the world of science and technology, where we can hold the soul and the physicality of the man in the same condition and operation for decades. We can create a condition to change the position of the man's understanding of his own weaknesses within the physical construction, where man will come to understand and develop new structures of the control of every cell of the body of the man. We have the capability and the knowledge to hold on to the soul, but elevate the soul of the physicality till an illness has been processed by the two together. You can walk in with all sorts of conditions which are unthinkable today to overcome. And within hours and days, you walk away with no condition. The new horizontal enhancement unit, in conjunction embedded in the universal enhancement unit, creates conditions which man of science and technology have never known. It creates a new condition that allows man to break through all barriers, all conditions, all plasma conditions which now has created crisis around the world, can, and within the interaction of the two systems together, create conditions that man will be from every condition of what we call collection of the fields of the plasmas in the universe. You walk on the surface of the planet, you absorb energy-packed plasmas, which can endanger the life. You walk into the what we call horizontal system within a universal enhancement unit, and within minutes, the balance of the fields completely allowing a new dimension and a new, what we call field transformation. In a way, if you look at this system, if you see, we have a great background. If you look at this system and understand, at the moment today, we imprison our people because of their psychological, because of their mental condition. Within minutes, within these systems, man will commit no crime. We can reach not only the soul of the man, but the conduct of the physicality of the man, which connects to the soul of the man. The application and implication of the new horizontal system is beyond imagination. If you remember years ago, months ago, I explained that in the universe we have no prisons, no one misconducts, because man in the process of life will be put into these systems and you will see the change. There'll be no addiction. Those who are addicted to cocaine and heroin and the rest of it, within minutes in these systems will overcome the desire. The introduction of these systems brings a total radical change in the world of science and technology. These units are on exhibition in this. It's not a theory anymore. Some of these systems have already been tested and they show their effectiveness. They show their work. In a way, we change the prisons. We change sentencing to people to life in boxes, to enhancing their soul, their physicality, and within minutes, within days, they shall become a perfect man. These are not dreams anymore. These are the realities, systems, technologies, which is available to man. It's the responsibility of the governments to promote and deliver these to the prisons and prison cells, to change and close the square boxes where we put many people for years without knowing why and what's the reason. This brings a closure to mental institutes where there is no need for man to be locked up when the level of the understanding of the soul of physicality and the soul of the man does not create the balance. This technology, introduction of the new horizontal and vertical system, is a major, major breakthrough in the work of the Keshe Foundation and in the time to come. We introduce to you today a massive, major breakthrough, which many of you have been waiting for, and as of next year is available to all of us. Would you like to play the third video, please? I lost it. If you can play the third video, please. We have a blank screen. It's okay, maybe. Yes, this video. Yes. Yeah, this video will bring a major breakthrough in everyday life of the man and opens man from the shackles of the government and institutions and restrictions which has been put on man. With this new technology, we become the real man of the universe. Would you like to play? Thank you very much. As you have seen, this is for the first time Keshe Foundation releases the first spaceship flight system. These systems have already been ordered to China to be built, and the first series of these systems will be seen in Linz in November, December of this year. We start accepting orders for the sale of this unit, and the Keshe Foundation sales section has opened the channel for it. You can book to fly into Moon and Mars in 2022 in advance booking. As usual, is a contractual basis. We carry 4 passengers with these systems. As we said, we will try 6th of June 2022 for the first flight, a daily return to Moon. And from today, we start selling tickets for a space excursion beyond the atmosphere of this planet. The beauty with this system is that another version of it will be supplied to airlines and to governments and people who can, and bring a new dimension of transportation. As you see, it has no wheels. It can, and it flies, and it can be, in a way, tuned to travel between the cities and towns. And this system is virtually a compact new transportation system without wheels. It's for the first time man breaks away from landing, having wheels, and following billions years of work of wheels and attachment. The system is set to fly above the speed of light in given condition, and within the atmospheric condition, for example, you can fly from Tehran to New York in less than 5 minutes. This is a physical system, and it will be delivered by the Keshe Foundation as of next year to any organization at 10 million euro on the lease basis that we control for the beginning of the time, the process of the development. The beauty of mixing this system with the vertical or horizontal unit is that we can process any illness beyond the boundaries of the planet Earth, beyond rules and regulations, which is put to strict man from every development and every process. We free man from the shackle of pharmaceuticals. In a way, we foresee to produce thousands of these a year. That makes and brings a new dimension. It's a new, what we call, transportation industry. Most probably many of you in the next 5 years will own one of these in front of your house. In a way, you do not need to be shackled down with the wheels on this planet. In October, November of next year, the first transportation systems to airlines will be distributed. As of December of next year, we'll go into the cargo delivery with the same system. In a way, we use Keshe Foundation Jindanjan, for example, to deliver our goods to Keshe Foundation in Linz within 5 to 10 minutes. The whole of the shipping industry, the whole of the marine industry will change. I warned this to the government some years ago. Now the system is on the table. A lot of governments need to renegotiate their borders, how they handle their citizens, how collectively we become part of one structure. In a way, these units, you can fly to Moon, stay there for a few days with the Keshe Foundation program for less than $250,000 or euros. But then you learn new. You enter a new dimension. These systems are and will be delivered as of and before end of this year, step by step into the community and the world public that you can see. In so many ways, today you have seen evolution and a revolution in transportation. which brings man to a different dimension, to a different understanding, and allows us to become the man of the universe. It's the first step, it's the first understanding. It's in a way allows us to become perfect citizens. Understanding while we are traveling in these units from Tehran to Washington, any emotional mishandling which might happen in Tehran to you that could lead to cancer or another disease, or you might have picked up another conditions in Washington while you're going to Beijing. And then we always, within the systems, are fed, are looked after emotionally, psychologically. You see in this system, there is no cargo. There is no place for carrying food and medicine. You can become passenger of these systems for decades in space and in the universe. This is why, as part of the development of the technology, we always emphasized on nuclear technology. If and when man understands the beauty of what he achieved in the advanced nuclear reactors and understand how to use them in the benefit of the travel in the space, man will become very fast detached from many of the materialistic conditions. Soon, a lot of things will change. Governments will not become as governments. The governments become working through the work of the what we call Universal Council, soul of the members. In so many ways, rules and regulations are broken. With this technology, we have no borders. We do not have condition of no barriers of one culture or the other. We can move you to the moon, put you to the processing of whatever condition you might have, which has no regulations and restrictions of World Health Organization or FDA or another condition, where they're all been set up to benefit one person or a group or the other. This way you benefit by it and you'll be returned back. The new opportunity, the new processes, the new, what we call new transportation and enhancement units, which are put on the table today, will change all your lives. We started with an enhancement unit 4 years ago. We start delivering, developing, and now you have seen the expansion of the new technology all coming through one organization. Hopefully next week, you will see 1 or 2 new systems which will affect and do specifically certain jobs, what we call, for example, for the vision, for the growth of the brain if it's damaged. And these systems can be deployed very rapidly. The first 48 units of the what we call vision and emotion enhancement units will be delivered to Arizona in the next 6 to 8 weeks. This will bring breakthrough. This allows us to work in bringing the change that no man can go hungry. We can position these across anywhere. You have a disaster, you have an earthquake, you have a flood. People, many will suffer with hunger. Many suffer with diseases. Many suffer with homelessness. You can place one of these and expand it and allow it to change. You can join to become the first passengers of this flight system by just going on the Case Foundation and making your first booking. We welcome you because with that process allows the international organizations to understand the change of game. The change has come. We do not need to have the mass production factories as we've seen to produce, and all the climate change is over, is done with. The climate change, what we at this moment of time suffer with, is over. The new science, the new technology, the new achievements in understanding the process of the creation has brought us to a new dimension, to a new arena, to a new understanding of the process of life. In so many ways, today's teaching has started and today's teaching has finished. We finish with the past. We finish with what we did to our planet, to what we did and damage we did to ourselves. We have seen a new flight system. We have seen a new transportation system. We have seen a new way that man breaks through the shackle of this planet. The technology in these systems is so advanced, but as usual with the Keshe Foundation, so simple. The simplicity of it is understanding the process of the creation. The advancement of it is changing the mindset of the man with the new ways of the way the universe works. As I said, we have gifted you with the knowledge as you have been gifted with Mitra. In a coming time, you will understand the purpose and the process of the interaction and the completion of the cycle. There are more and more technologies which will be released this way that the man is not aware of. The new flight enhancement unit is not just to take you. On board, you are fed. On board, you are processed. On board, becoming a man of universe, become part of understanding the process of creation while traveling the depth of the universe. We have made it simple, we have made it easy, and in a coming time, you will see these systems right across, most probably before January in Litz, before December in Litz, in different versions and different combinations of it. The cargo system, the new delivery structure, which is one of the biggest pollutants of this planet. The shipping liners will become a thing of the past. How fast our governments will transfer the technology into the understanding and development is a new breakthrough. Many of you, by the end of next year, will see Moon and Mars by walking on it, because the technology and the knowledge has been delivered and is in the process of what we call completion of the manufacturing. You can land on the moon for a day and tell your children and grandchildren that have been to the moon. You don't need to be trained. You can travel the depth of the universe. You can travel beyond solar system and come back within the same day and days. The knowledge, the delivery of the technology is rapid. And as I said, we made sure when we deliver a comprehensive change for all the governments. With this technology, with accessibility to the knowledge of the plasma technology, now we force creation of one nation, one planet, one Earth. In a way, because now with this technology, there are no borders. You can land, you can take off as easy as you do on Moon, in New York, in Sahara, or in Tehran. We played with the governments. We tried to bring them to understand the new change. And in so many ways, if you understand it, the game is over. Checkmate for those who tried to rule the man. Checkmate for those who tried to influence the school of thoughts on others. With this new technology, every man is free. You have not only the freedom of the planet, but you have the freedom of the universe. Mankind can travel the depth of the universe in a manageable, in a small unit enough that does not need to involve massive constructions. The race for the governments from now on is how to deliver this technology in a fast, effective way to all their citizens. Keshe Foundation, in the next few weeks, will show these in Litz. We'll show them to fly. We show them to transmute and transport. We show the man with cancer to walk in and walk out without. We'll show people with the mental diseases which have been kept in mental institutes and prisons to walk in with handcuffs and walk out free. This is the beginning of a change. And we have set out to bring that change through knowledge, technology, and development and delivery of the knowledge which has been unknown to man through understanding of the process of the interaction of the fields of the universe. Become the passenger of the universe and learn how to become correct. Become passengers of what we call enhancement units that enhances the soul and the soul of the physicality of the man. I think today is a day for many of you to remember. If you remember some 2 years ago when we showed the first enhancement unit in lens, a lot of people could not imagine the depth that these systems will bring and the changes will bring. Today, now you see the first flight system. We made it easy. We made it accessible. We made it manageable that can be applied and can be implied by all nations and all citizens. In so many ways, gradually, we have changed. We took man, as I said, from the shackles of wheels. What kept man attached to this planet? You see a change. You see a platform where the new universe for man, a new house for man, in so many ways, a new dimension for mankind. Walk into these units. You will never suffer from hunger. Walk to these units. You will never suffer from illnesses which the man has suffered so much in past centuries and thousands of years. You don't damage your climate. You don't change and burn and create more what we call leftovers to bring what we call the climate change. Many of you and many of your children's life as of today will change because you gradually start using and understanding the process of the development of this technology. We used to have what we call Blueprint Day and to teach. This time is to teach the governments, and the governments need to go through that process of Blueprint Day. They have to reorganize themselves. We will see by the showing of the first flights, government realize that the time of becoming separate is finished. They're becoming unified governments, unifying, collecting, helping, and developing new technologies for all the man now has become a reality. We welcome you to the true, what we call universal community, the space travel. And let's see how mankind will respond, how you as a humanity will take the chalice of development of the technology into the hands of yourselves, through your souls, and through understanding of the new, what we call space technology. Many of you, in a couple of years' time, will laugh when you see the car with the wheel outside. And many of you will laugh when you spend 16, 18 hours to go from Beijing to New York or to Washington, where you'll do it in a few minutes, where a new rules and regulations needs to come into operation. And in that process, you will find out mankind, as citizens of this planet, have more say in running up their affairs as collectively as what we call Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers. You'll affect the condition and the position and the way the knowledge will force the governments to new dimension and new work. In so many ways, we welcome you to a new era of a space and what we call enhancement unit. And I hope many of you will enjoy this trip. You will come testing it. you can become the first passengers of it, and at the same time, the owners of the spaceships, that you can bring man beyond the limitation and borders of the governments. These systems are undetectable to any radar system of today. No government, no organization has the technology to detect, to control, and to have a say in how the citizens of this planet will run their affairs. In so many ways of doing it, we can open a nest of these systems on Moon and create a condition that anything, any condition you have can be met on Moon, where there is no governmental organization to force medicine or whatever that the pharmaceuticals enforce upon us. This is the key to the freedom of the man to the space. But let's see how mankind will use this and how mankind will bring the change to itself. I leave it with what I call demonstration of the units, and I'll leave for you to imagine what changes this will bring to you in the next few years. It's the first time man is free from shackles of what he made himself to be prisoner of this planet. Thank you very much, Rick. And I'll leave you to show the videos once more before we take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. This is an amazing, beautiful machine. It's, I think, the most beautiful concept I've ever seen. I thought the Universal Enhancement Unit was the best, but this is even better.
This is not a concept. These are the systems ordered and getting manufactured in China at this moment. The material and everything else for it has been ordered and is going through the process of production. We have already prepaid for these systems.
Yes, it's truly a beautiful unit. Congratulations. Okay, so you want me to play the vertical enhancement unit and...
All three of them, and next week you will have a new system. The beauty of it is, instead of developing new systems or new structures, for the speeding up of the spreading of the technology, we use the present existing technologies, which allows us rapidly to deploy. And you will understand more and more of this. Go ahead, please.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. Essential processes are embedded for deep space travel to stop mutations and psychosomatic conditions. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially the lungs and intestines, which can be targeted specifically for each organ. When used within the Vertical Enhancement Unit, the body finds balance in totality while correcting and balancing all the fields within itself. The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, plasma space technology that allows you to work with the fields of the universe. By creating a wide range of plasma field interactions and conditions, it allows the body to process itself from any physical or emotional imbalance. Once this balanced condition is achieved, the soul and the emotion of the man can follow to find their balance, elevating the whole of the man. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, technology of the future through advanced plasma knowledge.
Thank you very much, Rick. Now we can see what are the next possibilities for all of us. And this is not a dream. This is the reality of what it's come and what it will be. And many of you can walk into these systems as they'll be demonstrated in Lens in coming weeks and months. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Mr. Kesh. I'll remind our attendees here, as usual, you can put up your virtual hands and we can allow you to open your microphone. And there's a question from Auntie in the YouTube who says, I hear big companies, including Tesla, have been offered contracts and are building med beds en masse. Was Kesh given a contract?
How many of these are reality and truth?
You've mentioned before that these aren't med beds, and I commented that. Sorry, go ahead.
Med beds do not exist. Med beds came out of a space TV. Big difference. You will need medical treatment when you get sick. With a new technology, you never get sick. To need such a terminology. This is the beauty of the new knowledge.
I think the term med beds came from the military actually as well. It's part of to rejuvenate limbs out in the battlefield and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they came through a lot of sci-fi movies, and we've seen it changing. But now these are the systems which are owned, operated, and will be owned and operated by the Keshe Foundation. As you've seen, the flight system structure of it given to what we call airlines will be on the leasing basis. We are not selling the technology or systems to. They are leased to at a price which, if you look at it, a four-seater jetliner at the moment is on about $25-30 million, and $10 million leasing for such a program that it can literally fly point to point, deliver as many people as they like. It will make it much more profitable for the airlines to opt out of their jet engines, landing by changing engines and everything else. In a bigger picture of transportation and transportation, this will bring a lot of new rules and regulations for the authorities in how and who and where we can travel. The position with this is not a hovering system, it's a flight system. How do we change rules and regulations in the cities? Who can carry them? How do we bring new regulations of the international transportation? You can carry in a way of we can increase the size and the dimension of the system, and then you can carry huge number of passengers. These, what we saw like Airbus 380 are useless way of traveling. You bring in hundreds of people from different part of one nation into one point, putting them in and then flying them to another point, and then spreading them out again. With this new technology, you take off from your home and you land where you want to be. Very much door-to-door delivery of needs. This airport passenger carrying, bringing everybody to one point is over. These are the changes which we brought to ourselves in past few decades, and these are the changes we'll reverse. Here, when you want to go to another city, you don't drive all in one place and then all the cars go together. You go from A to B, you decide. This is the beauty with this new technology. You don't need to fuel. You don't need to burn fuel. A lot of mindsets will change with this. A lot of things. Biden says there is a need looking for new technology. I think this technology will change even the political and diplomatic part of the whole process. We try to negotiate with 5+1. We try to influence the Iranian side to take up the new technology in negotiations with 5+1. And the Keshe Foundation, as one nation, one organization, has taken that step. Now this technology is available both to Iranians and Americans, both to the Chinese and the Russians. How would our governments respond to this in coming weeks and months? When the first systems will fly, they have no borders, they have no control, there is no customs, there is no one who can control who goes to Moon and Mars and back. You don't let me have an open heart surgery without interference, and the doctors with all the regulations. I go to Moon, it'll be done in 5 minutes, in 1 hour, and I come back. There are no governments on the Moon. Change is amazing what is to come. As I said, when we throw the punch of knowledge, the whole of humanity will be punch drunk with technology. How long will it take it to gather what possibilities of what can be done is beyond imagination. There won't be any illnesses to cure, as the body would not be allowed to go through that process to become ill. What's the functionality of man to live for thousands of years across the span of this planet and beyond? This system opens a new dimension. And we made it small and vertical and what we call versatile, that it can be applied by everyone. You don't need a pilot. You don't need to pilot anything. In a set processes, as we already have shown in other experiments, the people who sit in the car decide where we'll go to. The emotion, the school of thoughts will control the system. You won't allow a man to do a crime. He will not be able to carry cocaine and heroin to affect the others in this system. You will understand the mindset. You will understand the changes which will come with this technology. When we showed, if you remember, the enhancement unit as video some 3 years ago, many knowledge seekers were surprised of it. Now is what we call a compilation of the totality of the technology in these systems. We have, at the moment, disasters in north of China. We have disasters in Ireland and Caribbean. We have disasters in America with the earthquakes and the rest. You just land these systems. You allow people to bring them to safety within minutes. Broken bones can be healed within few minutes. You can strengthen the man away from diseases. In the next couple of weeks, you will see new technologies which will bring this into we have to be able to get the government. This is not just a flight system. This is a change for humanity, away from wheels and guns, away from nationwide destruction. We don't need a pilot. These systems do not carry pilots. Do you need a pilot when you drive your car? It'll be controlled through the emotion and understanding and the need of to be. Most probably a lot of governments would like to GPS it and they can control it, but more or less there's impossibilities if you know how to handle the system and how to run it.
Okay, we have a knowledge seeker with his hand up here by the name of Gatwa. Hello, Gatwa.
Hello, Rick. Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Kesh.
Good morning, Dr. Gatwa.
Mine is not a question, but this is just to congratulate you for bringing a new era in science and living. This has could not even be imagined, let alone be precedented. So this is amazing technology, and I know there has been a lot of unbelieving Thomases, and I think this completely brings an end to those who had any doubt about this new technology, and you are bringing to the globe a new era in science and a new living free of any kind of exploitation by man to another man or human to human. Thank you very much indeed. I very much welcome this technology and wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. We always said the breakthrough and acceptance of the technology will come with space development, has no borders and no governments and no control. And once we deliver the space technology, everything else becomes part of it. And we were waiting for the time when it's the right time to deliver the space technology to bring the change. We see world peace, we see the end of wars. We see governments looking for a new way to create new scientific, what we call business, to keep the people busy and the structures moving. And it's the right time. And as we said, the process of the space development is important for all of us, that with it, we create no doubts. With it, we enforce new laws of correct and just. With it, we bring a condition of the soul of the man to run the humanity, not the gun policies we see. As you have seen in the past few weeks, the whole structure of the war and warmongering is falling apart. It's not coincidental and accidental. The wishes of the Universal Council and the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers Worldwide has brought that condition. Humanity has tried for centuries and decades to create conditions of isolated peace and tranquility. Now, the knowledge seekers, the wishes of the Universal Council has brought that. And in a way, this is our gift to Universal Council. You wished it, we accommodated. Now we give you the tools to push with the governments for world peace, for one nation, through what I call the soul of the man. No languages, no barriers, no borders. The impact of this technology, the impact of this unity in front of you will be felt in 2 to 5 years, when people will travel across the borders. Governments have no control, but to work together to bring correct and just development. The application of this is huge. Once we airborne these within the city, within the environment, for example, of a hurricane, we can control the boundaries. We can stop damage limitation. We can create condition of the rain where there is a rain and droughts, shortage of rain and droughts. You have to understand the next step. These are very much like the satellites, but controlled through the plasmatic fields which they interact with the environment. The implication of these is huge. If you have a meteorite heading towards Earth, a combination of these by creating a condition of the plasmatic fields can divert the meteorite, because it's all interaction of the fields. The governments will find a new ways. The humanity will find a new application for this. As we go further and further, it allows man to create conditions to be able to live in the deepest part of the oceans. Because you create a shield, you create a field barrier outside, you can live, you become like a submarine. You don't need to come up. You can stay under the water for centuries, because the system produces everything you need and takes from you what you don't need. Mankind has entered a new cycle with this technology, with this machine. And the impact of it will be felt in the coming weeks and months, when you will see world leaders of today will travel from Beijing to Tehran within seconds, within minutes. When we will see delivery of the goods, if we are still in the dimension of physicality, from the factories in Los Angeles into West Africa within minutes. will change a lot of things for us. With this technology, the marine world is over. Production of these systems will go into what we call intercontinental transportation, delivery of services through the same, creation of the fields to feed the nation when there is a hunger, when there is a what we call calamity, could be a virus, energy pack. You put a number of these satellites, position, change the field, drain. You had a problem, you don't have a problem. It's for the man scientists to develop this technology. We set the basic rules. We develop the basic knowledge and technology of it, and the rest is for the humanity to develop. You can travel with this to Mars and Moon within minutes and seconds, depends what fields you create inside it, what shield capability you give it. If you look at it, it has very much the shape of a light array. It's been designed this way. It arrives in a matter state, it arrives in a plasma state, and in a transition in both ends, it travels in the shape of the light as a ray, with its own shielding, with its own transportation and transmutation. The game changer, this system will change everything man has known in every dimension which he ever did. The enhancement units were for entrapment of changing what the man was entrapped into physicality. This system frees the man from the shackles of the earth and from the shackles of the four-wheeler, as we always call them. Come to Lens and see these systems. They are not theories, they are realities which now will come into full vision. Systems have been ordered. You can buy them, you can own them, you can be part of it, and you can become the new generation of the change. Register yourself to be the first passengers to travel to Moon and Mars. We have what we call, they charge you $250 for a few seconds wait free. You travel to the moon, spend a day with a full weightlessness, with a full operation as you're on Earth. Experience a new dimension. Go to Mars. Be the first generation to bring that change. Be those who, with doing it, force the governments to look at new dimensions. With flying 2 or 3 of these, we can paralyze the whole of an air force. Doesn't matter how many MiGs and doesn't matter how many Phantoms and F-18s you have on the runway. As I said, I'll make them metal bed, and now this is the system. The field interaction between 2 or 3 Ds on the South China Sea paralyzes the whole of Chinese, what we call military bases. The game has changed. Government need to talk peace. Government need to find a solution to become one. The color of the skin and the race of the man, we should make only one man. And this is the man who becomes mankind in the depths of the universe. And this is the purpose of delivery of this technology today. You can walk into Linz in the next few weeks and literally walk into one of these systems and bring and change and bring the change to the government. We tried to talk to governments. Now governments have no choice but to talk to us in how they plan the structure of their governments internationally. Superiority of the knowledge has to be benefit of all mankind. I want the going to get hit by something big. And this is the tool of peace on the peace negotiations in Vienna. All nations dissolve from nuclear technology. We can literally bring all the nuclear reactors around the world to a halt. I know how to do it. I know how to transfer the energies of the nuclear reactors into space, where not a single reactor will run out of control. You know how to transfer the fields of the energy of the radioactive materials, making nuclear warheads obsolete, literally empty, just piece of matters which have no interaction. The implication of this system and combination of the use of it in interaction with each other is beyond understanding of the man totality. It's amazing how our knowledge seekers will take the next step. Those who have taken the step with us with the enhancement units will be the first who will benefit by these systems. We'll explain more and more about this and how it will be implemented and how it will be applied. The beauty of it is that we share the knowledge at the same time with all the nations and all the governments. So none has the superiority to overcome or be better or do something different. And this pushes mankind to the next level of understanding. This pushes mankind to the next level of, in totality, understanding what is to come. What is for us, what is the humanity is about to get hit by technology. And this is the beauty of it. This is what we see. This is what is needed to bring that change, to bring that understanding, to bring the totality of the knowledge for our leaders to understand the change, to understand what is to come, to understand what is the next step in space development. And this is important to all of us, to be able to deliver technologies which are part of the work of the Keshe Foundation. What are we there to do when we have such a beautiful technology and we do not use it for the benefit of mankind? For all of us to take the next step, to be able to understand what we have and what we can bring. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, it's Dean here. Congratulations. Thank you very much for bringing this technology forward. It's quite incredible. Thank you. So perfect timing. So the transportation vehicle that I've just purchased, I can take the wheels off and take the engines out. Thank you very much.
But you can't park it in that unit.
Thank you.
You can put it in a museum.
So the four people that the four souls that would become present within the unit itself, how would they experience this this transportation device?
We'll ask them when they use it. You have to ask them, and you have to let them see what is come, when it's to come, and what is about to hit them. How they feel when they come out, what change of a man they become.
You've spoken about before, Mr. Kesh, about certain conditions where people wouldn't experience or wouldn't actually walk into the unit if they have an incorrect position. Is this still the case?
It will be still the same. These systems are set for a specific application and job. And this will not change. We are set to bring peace, we are set to change what we call governing. And a lot of governments will not like to see such a position. But on the other hand, governments cannot govern anymore because the situation and the conditions has become unbearable. We don't need to inject man or control man or imprison man anymore. Where with this technology, we free the man. And then he has to taste it. He has to understand it. He has to go through the process of maturity.
So, Mr. Kesh, the souls that are going through certain conditions on this planet, you spoke about if there's a hurricane or a natural disaster. How would these transportation systems help these individuals that are caught within this condition?
The job of what I call humanity, how we bring them to be accessible with this. The accessibility of it has to be done by those who have access to technology to be able to deliver. You will, in a coming time, when mankind develops a further understanding of what we release today, it will bring a condition, for example, in depth of the space, where you can position a number of these systems that in that position, you create a very much like a cubicle, where you create a condition that in this environment, so many people can exist. By placing a number of these, you can create a condition and environment for existence. Many what are called passengers of the universe do this. Many of you see what you call like stars in the sky, and you think they are stars, but they're actually a combination of the what you call spaceships, which they have created a condition for citizens to live within the environment of the universe. The problem with the present knowledge of what man has, what he observes, is that you think every light in the sky is a planet or a star. But in fact, there are spaceships positioned to create condition of life within them and within the atmosphere of the others to be able to survive. It's an open fish tank. For those, for example, who are travelers of the universe or unicos, or for those who lost their, what I call, place of life to, to accidental conditions. When I look into the depth of the skies, more or less I can tell you which one is a planetary system, which one is a star, which one is a UFO, as you call it. This is the problem with man's lack of knowledge, is that, as I say, everyone who's got a mustache is not your uncle. Every shining light in the sky is not a star. Man doesn't have a knowledge, so he accepts it. Now, with these technologies, with release of especially this new versatile small enhancement unit, man will get to know more what is real, what is not, what is there as part of universal community to interact. If you notice, these systems we released today have no defense technology. In a way, there is no way you can abuse it to create a condition of false alert. It's a peaceful system. It's a system where brings man to universal community as a peaceful being. There is no weapon technology. When I designed the original enhancement unit, where you've seen past couple of years, was to bring this into operation when the time is right. And the time is right. We'll have the birth of Mitra with us as the soul of the universe. And with it has to come the gift of peace for our universe. With it has to come the understanding of the change for humanity. These units, the enhancement units, which is now shown today as a flight system, is not just a flight system, it's a freedom of man from the shackles of his soul, shackles of his physicality, and shackles of the soul of physicality, which tangled itself with it and brought so much crisis with itself. It's a detachment from every condition, but still being attached to enjoy every condition. We don't make you without home on the streets and in the space. You still enjoy the presence of your child. You still enjoy the presence of the physical food if you want. But you know you don't have that condition of pain, that what happens next. The enhancement centers like in Arizona and other places will become the first centers which should receive these flight systems. Keshe Foundation points of references where we have established become the points where the first peace movements will come, first systems will be flown in and out of. We are there to bring the change, but as a race, not as a nation. And I know the release of this new unit today will bring shock to many of you as you will start understanding what it's going to do with you and your loved ones and your way of living. Do I need to go to work 9 to 5? Or today I go to Mars, they say they found something new. I'll go to another galaxy. If you understood the shape and the operation of this system, it gives you a totally new, what I call horizon in the way that mankind will live. You don't need the roads. You don't need the shackles of the fuel. You don't need the shackles of what's going to happen when I arrive there. Would I have a food to eat? The change with this new system we brought today is fundamental. It's absolutely fundamental. And it's not going to be in a few months or a few years, whatever. The units has been ordered and you will see them. But as we said, by June of next year, you fly them.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Can I ask one more question, please? So once man actually takes a position within these units and frees himself from the shackles of this planet, will there be interactions with the universal community in any...
Depends how true are you to yourself. Depends how true are you to yourself.
Can you explain a little bit more about that?
You will understand. Mankind will understand soon. It's how true are you to what you wish and what you actually want. It's not a hunky-dory. Man has to work from now on to achieve, to reach his soul desire.
So thinking good, speaking good, and acting good will be very foremost in mankind's abilities if they wish to interact and travel the universe.
We shall see. We shall see how man responds to what is about to come.
I hope mankind's ready. I'm sure they are. I'm sure all beings and souls are going to experience some incredible things. It's a most wonderful journey to know that mankind has reached a position where take once more a position that we've always known as mankind's position, part of the universal community. And it's a wonderful moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Kesh, for bringing us forward this moment. Thanks.
Any other question, or do you want to go for a commercial break? If we can have a commercial break today.
With their older commercials, you mean? I guess so. These ones have definitely superseded the older commercials, but we need to hear from them as well, I suppose. So let's take a little break here. There's a couple more questions still available, but we can deal with those after the break. So thank you very much, Mr. Kesh, for presenting this amazing new technology, and we really look forward to it. I think just being in this unit without lifting off would be an uplifting experience in itself. So, okay, let me get our ad break ready. So we'll take a short break here now and be back in a few minutes. Okay, here we are back at the 402nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. Well, Mr. Kesh, are you ready to continue?
Yes, ready, willing, and able.
Okay.
When there will be more technologies which will come up in the next few weeks and months, which will be as revolutionary, but it'll create a condition of what we call one nation government, where the Keshe Foundation will enforce our way of peace and what we call technology as one nation in one organization. It's very interesting. One of them, the articles published about the Lens exhibition, in the publication, the journalist says that the Keshe Foundation is bringing in technology in exchange for peace. That people are becoming aware that we are not an organization just for technology, but we have a purpose in sharing our technology for creating peace, which I thought is very interesting when an article appears and they say the aim of the technology, the aim of the what we call work of the foundation. Okay, what's any questions?
Well, we did have a question earlier from Saga SS of Brazil, and who has a concern about how you're going to handle, for example, the criminal organizations that might be preventing the unveiling of this technology, or preventing the progress of this technology to be presented, or other three-letter organizations that we know of that might not wish this to happen somehow. I mean, how is it you survived the last 10 years of giving out all your secrets, and how is it that you have this fearlessness that you can present this without agitating all these organizations that want to keep the status quo? Pardon me?
We have agitated. We have agitated all of them without a fail. There's a very interesting thing came up by Jalal, and amazing. He going through one of the teachings. He sent me a message. Can you listen to this message? And this is part of a teaching which was done in 2018. And when you listen to it, people close to us, they tell us they know that they will not damage us. They tell us that they're part of that process of damaging us themselves. These are the closest people to the foundation. And it's a recording, it's actually recorded, the voice recording of the person confirming they know that they're going to damage us, and how she has done wrongs, trying to do wrongs to be shown. And that is part of the whole structure. We hasn't stopped. The people who we kicked out of the Keshe Foundation in the past 12 months have delivered 2 terabytes of information to Iranian national security to stop the Keshe Foundation to go to Iran. 2 terabytes of everything they could have collected over the lifetime, and the Iranian national security has put it on the table. Mr. Kesh, the closest people around you are betraying you. But has he stopped us? Has he stopped the collaboration of the knowledge seekers? We don't look at the governments, we look at how you as knowledge seekers are working together. How closely each one of you is developing part of it, teaching part of it. We are a government, we are a structure. Now the governments will follow the structure. It's not chasing them to accept us. Now it's for them, we want to be part of it. You've seen this with the Chinese government in the past couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. We've seen this the same with the American administration in the background. We see the same with Iran. We see the same thing coming through what they call Russia and Japan. Because we carry on, we don't stop. We don't choose, we don't attack a government. We teach knowledge seekers in Hawaii as we teach the people knowledge seekers in Canada, as we do in China, as we do in Iran. We become a new structure. And the fear of governments is not a hidden structure underground. It's a very open structure which is helping the people, the agriculture, the humanity, and the rest of it. Yesterday, Iran Keshe Foundation has signed one of the most important agricultural contracts for collaboration with one of the major agricultural university in Iran. They wanted to sign it. They wanted it will be announced by the Keshe Foundation in Iran. It's the same with China. It's the same with government sieging. We are not underground attacking people. We're teaching so openly that the governments have to bring the change. And it's there. We have become an influential nation as one nation without borders. We are a scientific organization with evaluation and respect for the soul of the man through technology. And that's where we have reached you. And they can come as much as they come together. They stopped past 20 years. Everything we've seen, attacking individual knowledge seekers, attacking the technology, banning us from all the television and radio stations, everything else you can imagine. Can you imagine 2 terabytes of information which has been gathered over 20, 30 years and being given and falsified to a government to stop the government receiving a new technology? And what would the national securities do? Just put it on the table. Mr. Keshe, this is what the closest people ever you thought have brought here to stop you. You do not know how much damage is getting done in the background, but has he stopped us? We attacked only the spread of knowledge. We attacked frontline to spread knowledge for everyone to have access to it. A man in Amazon, a professor in Chinese university, a spaceman in NASA, and God knows what. This is what is bothering the government. Openness to shared knowledge and technology. Everything has been tried. Everything, any organization, any scientist been and could be done to, they've done. Has they stopped you growing your fruits in the garden? How many of you have been affected by Corona and you have found the solution through the ganses? How many of you have changed condition around you with different application of it? What we show on the screen, the technologies, is a very advanced understanding of the interaction of the fields. In 10 years' time, it'll be as common as you change your, most probably, pots and pans. But this is a process. This is where we set out. We never think of our enemies because they're there to serve us. It was amazing to listen to what Jalal brought to our attention. In 2018, they knew they're going to attack us to destroy us. And they knew they're part of it. And it's a pleasure to listen to it, that how we still supported them, how we still stood there to be. One day their soul will elevate, one day they will elevate the understand of what they've done. And when I look at the top groups of the Keshe Foundation, several hundreds people who work in different ways, have any of us stopped serving, sharing? Have any of us got anything for it? but the pleasure of knowing we can change somebody's life in the coming time. This unit we released today, you will understand how you've been with one of the biggest hurricanes in the world of science and technology in the next few months. When people abandon cars on the street, they don't need. You were looking for hovering car, you were looking for flying cars, still wheels on it. This is a different kettle of fish. This is different understanding. Thanks God, I was stopped to show their flying car in Eindhoven in 2011. Now they cannot stop this. This is in the hand of manufactured in China. It will be developed completely further completion in Austria and secondly manufactured in Iran. Iran factory has gone into operation. They're setting, they're already in it. You think I need permission from the Iranian government, so I need the permission from American government or Austrian government or any government to fly this system. I land, you will see. I fly, you will feel. We brought the change. Now is time for them to understand what change is going to do with them. How many of you are going to be the first passengers in these machines? How many of you are prepared to go to moon? How many of you are prepared to go to Mars? How many of you are prepared to go beyond the boundary of this solar system for the first time within minutes and days? We flew a satellite how many years ago? And we hope it has reached the boundary of the solar system and has gone through it. What is the nearest star to us? You'll be landing there, or it's one of his planets in a matter of hours and minutes if you know how to run this mission. Well, you have to make sure you don't interact, that you bring the interaction of the soul and solar physicality with the system. You still keep it intact. This is a fish tank which you'll be looking for. And the fish inside is the man and his soul. How many of you billionaires and millionaires around the Keshe Foundation will buy these and just put them in the cities for people just to walk in to overcome their hunger? How many of you will give a gift to prisoners with the vertical and horizontal units to change the man? We don't need Cassius Clay to become Muhammad Ali by change of belief in gods in different names. Both believing in the same creator and the creator of the same system in front of them. Man will mature very fast. We gave every opportunity to governments to follow. With our wish and support of the Soul of the Universal Council, we achieved world peace. Now the system will enforce permanent peace, unconditional permanent peace.
Mr. Keshe, we had a question in the live stream from Freed, who asks, in enhancing the soul of the individuals within these units, is there also a collective enhancement of the human soul of the people present on Earth and in the universe?
In a way, we connect to, yes. we become part of a totality. Earth has been a rocking ship, and now with the introduction of these new technologies, we bring it to its balance to become part of the stable part of the universal community.
Would this be part
when
of...
the first,
Go ahead,
pardon?
sorry.
When these systems start flying and delivering around the world in the next few weeks and months, governments will change. They have no choice. This is part of the delivery of the systems on 5+1 in the way of 5+1 plus Iran is a new structure for world peace. Outside the framework of what we call the Muslim of United Nations. It has a good representative of why we work and we push with universal, what you call with 5+1. It is because you have the Chinese, you have the Russians, you have so what we call the Catholics, you have the Americans, which sits in different one, and you have a representative of Iran as an Islamic nation. And with it, we can bring a good balance where America represents in the background the structure of the State of Israel, or what we call Judaism, or the belief of the path of Moses. In a way, it's Buddhist, the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims are all around 5+1. And we can achieve peace through it, not just peace for Iran, but peace internationally for all the nations. There's never been such a collective, what I call unison's bunch of religions sitting around in the name of the politics. And we are all in it. You have Germany, which represents Rothschilds, who've been one of the biggest betrayal of the whole system. Germany is there for us to bring Rothschilds on the leash, and we will do so. We'll return the wealth of Rothschild back to humanity, what they stole. And with it, through the other channels, we bring representation of the humanity. The Buddhists, America representing the Jewish state, the French and the Italians representing the state of Catholicism and Catholic religion, Iran representing the Islamic world. It's a best part that we could bring peace to all nations, and nobody has ever seen it this way. And this is why we work with it. It'll become a position that all nations will accept. Peace, not just through technology, but through equality of all of them together. We know what we've done and we know how we'll change it. You look at the 5+1 as a political position. We look at the 5+1 as unification of all the religions and path of peace. And with it, with the politicians which are involved in it. Carry on.
Okay, we have a couple of hands up here from our attendees, Ed and Jalal. Ed, if you'd like to go first.
Oh, thank you, Rick. Good morning, Mr. Cash. This is Ed from Indiana. My question involves the pricing of these units. I know they're quite fair in terms of medical devices. I mean, the technology is just out of sight. And but you refer to many of us being able to take advantage of this. Who will be the first ones and stuff you talk about? For many of us, for instance, to pay for a trip on one of these as advertised in the store is still quite high. How do you see us being able to participate?
These are set for very much what we call knowledge seekers who can go and break the barrier. There is a reason for it. There is a reason we put this kind of figures. There will be a bunch of knowledge seekers will be given what we call different valuations for it. It's not the price, it's just showing the man can go, with what value can go, and then opening up the space technology the way we want it. Whenever a man given a free, he has abused it. We gave you the MAGRAPH system free knowledge, and you and people around it use it to ridicule the cash management. But if you look at the horizontal unit, just have a look at it in the horizontal unit. It has the most complicated, sophisticated in that ad of the MAGRAPH unit. You don't know how to use it, we know. And this is what the nature of the man is. He has no value when he doesn't pay for it. As always said, in a serious but in a joking way, why men have no value for their wives, but they have a lot of respect for their mistresses. Wife is the right of the way. Mistress you spend money on. You have respect for the money you spend. And this is what it is. When we gave you the technologies free in blueprints, everything came with it. Now you pay for it, you respect it, you apply it and deploy it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Jalal.
Hi, can you give me just 2 minutes and I will come back? I have here noise in the background.
No problem. Any other question? This machine on the screen has changed and will change the destiny of mankind.
We have a question here, Mr. Kesh, from Malcolm. I believe he's from Ireland. Who says, again, congratulations on delivering a paradigm shift in humanity, Mr. Kesh. My question is, will you and the knowledge seekers teach a program to help the knowledge seekers attain this direct connection with the soul? I understand all your teachings give the hints and insights for us to make that connection, but will there be a specific training to advance that? Blessings, Malcolm.
Through use of the technology, many knowledge seekers will find a path, the connection between the soul and the soul of physicality, and that will become a path of knowledge. And that knowledge will be gained once by the knowledge seekers, then they will teach it through the soul, not through the word. This is the way we do.
In many ways, that's being done now through various workshops, both public and private. Often the topics can be different, but the underlying theme now is about the connection with the soul, or feeling the feels and this kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it will come. In the process of the understanding will come. When you look at this unit, if you look at it, if I can draw it in a different way, if you look at it, this is a ray of light. And it'll travel with the speed and dimension of the light. And in that speed of light, the spectrum sits. The spectrum, the soul of the man feels too. This will not transmute the physicality of the man, but will transmute the soul of the man and the elevation of the soul of the man in the process of the transportation. And then you have as you entered in a dimension of the soul of physicality, you have your soul of physicality to it too. And then you understand how the two become balanced. In the past few months' teachings, I kept on referring to book 1, book 2, book 3. And now you understand. The book 2 is where, book 1 is where you started from. Put it in the dimension of the plasma or the soul. Book 1 is where you land in a dimension of matter state if you decide. The same way is you can go the reverse. But now you have a tool where the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man in both dimensions are protected, are part of, are within the structure. That was the dream of every prophet. To bring the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man to understand each other's position and become one. And I always thought the teaching of the soul, they tried to bring that dimension, but it brought the punishment with the dimension of the soul. It's the first time we share the knowledge as a gift, and that gift allows the two to become one. There is no punishment. The elevation of the soul is the only option, both in the dimension of physicality and the soul of the man, soul of physicality of the man. As I said before, when the Creator works, he works to perfection, with no failure and no pitfalls. Any other question?
Good day, Mr. Cash. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jala.
Mr. Cash, you know, there is a group set themselves to serve, and we were wondering how we supply by materials. And in one day, materials supplied to us as a gift from outside this group, one who was being touched by your knowledge, and he showed his appreciation to this knowledge and to your gift, and he supplied us about 3,000 meters of material. It was beautiful, and this is the way when we say, when you give, you shall receive. So this is a confirmation of this, and congratulations, Mr. Cash, for all this advancement and this knowledge. Thank you very much.
I think, thank you very much. You will see the benefit of this technology where the Keshe Foundation cannot be kept away by news. And many of those who are the followers of the foundation, but they kept quiet because of the negative informations which put in, but in the background they are there to serve humanity. What will be interesting is when the Keshe Foundation will put one of these systems very soon in the landing spaces in Linz, and for the world to see. The reality is we have touched the soul of man. It's just the soul of physicality of the man which has chosen to go the wrong way. And this enhancement unit, this flight system, is a lot of knowledge seekers should have seen it coming. It's about to come. But now we, even within the knowledge seekers, people who work around close to us, I kept this away as a secret, that when we are totally ready for it to go, when we are there, when mankind switches to understanding of the next process. And now we are ready. Mankind is ready to move. It becomes part of that light, becomes that part of ray. And many, many people will turn to be that way. And this is part of the, what we call the peace process between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man, where mankind will find peace, and then we'll start all moving in the same direction. Thank you very much for your hard work, Jalal, in the background. And thank you very much for the information you brought us.
You're most welcome, Mr. Cash.
You're welcome.
We have another knowledge seeker here of the Italian variety that's also happens to be a Mojan by name of Stefania. Perhaps we can allow her to go next.
Hello, Rick, Mr. Cash, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Io non ho alzato la... I didn't hide, I didn't... did I raise the hand to talk?
Are you there, Stefania? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you as usual. Somehow you can't hear us as usual.
I don't know why I didn't raise my hands. I just make a question. I read it in the chat. I didn't raise my hands, but I don't know if Rick want me to talk or.
You're here. You better talk.
Your virtual hand was raised, so somehow
sorry,
it
Rick,
got activated.
Sorry. No, I just make a question. But yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Cash. Thank you for everything you brought. I don't have word to. I'm so happy, and I couldn't wait for this any longer. And yes, I do agree. Is a perfect timing, and we're all ready for this. And we can wait to go to the next steps. This world peace and work as one. Yes, my question was, I wrote that was this change, it will happen like a quantum jump where will happen like all together. All together, we're gonna, the moment one elevate, we all gonna elevate together as one.
It depends if you're ready to. We all have different strengths. We all operate in different strengths and understanding. And if you have reached that point of understanding and the strength of emotion of the soul, yes, you can. It can be done. It'll be gradual. All man will not be elevated at the same time. They do and take according to understanding and the strength of the work.
Sorry, I'm translating as well in Italian. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can wait. Thank you so much. Alice, you know, Mr. Cash, the first day I met you, I didn't know nothing about all this. Nothing. But first time I met you, something in my head said, you will be the one who will bring the change. I didn't know nothing about anything, even though I don't know nothing, but it's just like, to me, I don't know, I'm so grateful that you are here with us and sharing your knowledge, and I'm very super happy that I met you in my path. And you know, I always trusted you for first second. It's something you cannot buy or whatever. But really, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you're giving to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
But the way the 3rd was my birthday. 3rd of October. 3rd of October was my birthday. Thank you for the present.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Shall we call it a day? I think we had a good representation of what the technology is delivering and to be delivered.
Okay, that sounds fine, Mr. Kesh. If that's what you wish, then that's a good idea.
Very good day. I think we have brought a massive change and understanding and a change in humanity and how it can be. One of our targets in the Kesh Foundation is the same as we start sharing the enhancement units amongst the knowledge seekers. We would like to do the same with the enhancement transportation, the flight system, where the knowledge seekers stay in control and become part of the structure of this system, where we dictate everything else which comes as part of this technology to bring the change. And I'm sure many governments will start changing their position and understanding once these systems are literally demonstrated in open, and soon will bring the change. And this will be a massive step change for many governments to accept the new knowledge and the new technology. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kesh Foundation, in the background, especially the production team, Marius and Kazmir and the rest, trying to get things done. I'm sure next week you will see another enhancement unit from the Kesh Foundation, which is life-changing for many of us, and will bring another change in the dimension. As I said, it's not just bringing that pain path, but bringing edge of science and technology and knowledge that it brings that change which we are pushing for. Thank you very much, Rick.
Mr. Cash, it is an earthquake in 20 in order of magnitude, shaking them.
I hope so. I think we need 21. They will be at it. But I think the government just start realizing how things have changed and how we will change. Thank you very much. Thank you much for today. And I hope we'll bring you another dimension next week in teachings. I don't think there's been more fundamental change in teaching than today, if people understand the application.
Well, it's interesting that earlier today or yesterday, depending on your time zone, we had William Shatner, otherwise known as Captain Kirk, become the oldest astronaut in the world. He went up on a Origin spacecraft and went into space, at least into the blackness of space. And his comments were quite incredible. It completely shook him and changed him, and he was actually had tears when he came back, trying to express himself for the experience that he had. And that's on top of a fire-breathing rocket. So if we can make that experience more gentle for souls like that, he is now 90 years old, so it's a strange coincidence that this technology is being revealed now, and we see clear how the future will unfold. Thank you very much, Mr. Kesh.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope we see many of these in the next 12 months landing on the moon together and bringing a lot of changes where governments realize they cannot govern beyond 1 meter, 2 meters above the space of this planet. Or we'll see new changes where people have the freedom to decide. And this is what I said. There will be no leadership and no kingship, because all we are free as man with soul and physicality. There'll be very interesting changes which will come. The faster we push these units through, the first 100 units has been ordered to Chinese manufacturing system. Part of it will go for the enhancement unit, and part of it will go for the flight system. But the combination of the two will force governments to a new dimension and new approach, where we can fly from Jindanjiang with goods and materials and land in lanes in less than a few minutes. And then the governments understand. We use Keshe Foundation properties for our purpose. We don't need their landing right. We use Mexico as a place to land. We use Arizona as a place to land. We use our rights, and with it, we'll bring the change. Thank you very much indeed. And I hope next week we'll give you a bigger surprise, as I hope will be in the pipeline. Thank you very much, Rick.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Kesh.